Okay, so now we are laying out where our plants are gonna go and where our seeds are gonna be put in. We have our seed packets there. What we've actually done is made a little layout, a list, yeah, of what we're gonna put in, and we've made a note of how many square feet each thing needs. So tomatoes need 1 square feet. Summer and winter squash are gonna need 2 square feet, meaning a tomato would use 1 of these squares, and then a winter squash or summer squash are gonna need 2 of these squares. Whereas if you look at like these beans, they're bush beans. Bush beans are going to, you can plant 9 seeds in 1 square foot. So you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then, so the next thing you need to know when you are planting your square foot gardening is that the south side of your garden should have the tallest plants, because if they're in the front of your, in the east side of your garden, north side, sorry, if they're in the north side of your garden, they're gonna block the sunlight from the other end of the plants. So we actually have these in one because on the other side we're gonna plant lettuces that actually need just a little bit more shade. So it'll make shade for the lettuces, but then these plants over on the other side, the bush beans and the other things over here, are gonna still get their sunlight. Okay, the first thing that we need to do is dig a hole for our plant that we're gonna put in. So this soil is soft enough you can just dig it with your hands. Before you put the plant in though, you're actually gonna need to put a cup of water. So we just have a little bucket and a kid cup. That's kind of fun. And we're gonna put it in this hole. Are you gonna do it in that one? Yep, so we're gonna put that in the hole because we want there to be lots of moisture when we put our plant in. We have that in there, and then we're gonna remove the plastic from the plant. You have to be really gentle because if you move the roots too much, it will make the plant die some. And with tomato plants, this is a tomato, you have to bury 2/3 of the plant underground. So we have to get it as deep as we can. Is that as deep as it will go? And then we gotta bury 2/3 of the plant. Yep. Leave a little kind of lowered section around it so that the water will stay there. Okay, we love arugula on our pizza, so we are planting arugula, and it needs to be planted in 16 in a square. So we're doing our math here, and 4 times 4 is 16. So we're gonna go 4 across, 4 down, and it only needs to be a 1/2 inch deep. So we're gonna have 16 holes, and then we'll put 3 to 4 seeds in each hole. One more thing to look at on the back of your package when you're growing seeds, there's gonna be a map of the United States, and then you're gonna find your state. So for me, I'm in Tennessee, which is that long narrow state right there, and it is yellow. So we can plant this arugula between April and May. Those are the best times to plant. Whereas with this bean, which is a bush bean, if I look at it, it's still yellow on my picture, but it says May to June. So we're gonna have to wait a couple more weeks because it's April right now to be able to plant these beans. That is so that they don't freeze or get too cold. Lettuces typically grow in the cooler weather, so you're gonna start your lettuces. Spinach, arugula, lettuce are gonna be planted earlier in the year, and then again in the fall if you would like. Okay, so we are done planting our seeds and our plants for right now. What we actually do is we take our seed packets, because on the back has really good information to remember how far apart you need to thin them out, and when you can plant more if you're going to plant more in the fall. So I keep these packets and I actually seal them up so we don't get seeds everywhere, and then I just keep them in a Ziploc bag like this with the date that I planted this batch of seeds. With your seeds, you may be able to use those same seeds the next year, but they may have less of a chance of sprouting and growing into plants. The next year is maybe like okay, but much beyond that, 2 or 3 years later, I wouldn't use plants again. I would get them again. But these little seed packets will go a really far way. You can plant tons of plants with what is in a seed packet. If you just want like 1 or 2 plants, I would go ahead and do the actual plants that you can buy at the store. They're a little more expensive, but especially for tomatoes, I always start with tomato plants because they are really, really, really difficult to start from seeds. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.